Check this out, though. No, check it out. It's this one right here, I tell you.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you.
You sure?
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, welcome to episode 2. Today we got a lot of cool things to show you. Right now we're just outside messing around with my phone box, having some fun with some phone lines. But yeah, we got a lot of cool things to show you. First up is a water cooling bong by a fan of the show.
Yep. But first, let's check out the schedule.
Hi, today we're going to build a bong. Basically what we're building is for water cooling a PC. You need a 5-gallon bucket, a big chunk of PVC, the lid to the bucket, a sanitary tee. Make sure it's sanitary, you don't want any dirty stuff, a good chunk of hose, and a pump. Make sure it's powerful. Basically, what you do, I've already started by cutting a large 4-inch in diameter hole into the bucket lid so that it slides over the pipe. Then what you need to do is find yourself the other hose, or the other piece of pipe. Put it in the bucket. Figure out where you want your sanitary tee to be. You want it to be about 2 inches above the bucket. Make sure it puts enough air in it. So you kind of want to mark it with your hand. Take your hacksaw. Try not to cut yourself. That cut does not have to be perfect. Or anywhere near it. Just enough to get the tee on. Alright. Forgot you need a file. File off your shavings. Take your PVC cement, Ace brand.
No sniffing of the PVC.
Yeah, don't sniff it. Don't sniff it. You won't.
Don't do like I did.
Yeah.
Get out of the camera.
Don't sniff it. You won't complete the project. Put it on the inside of the tee and the lovely PVC tube. Into the tee. Now you have where cold air will come in. This project also requires an 80mm fan. This is a cheapie I think I got out of a power supply. Actually, it must have been very expensive at one time. It says $8.99.
$9 fan.
I already pre-modified it. If you see on the edge, the corners are very, very slightly cut. And on the back, they're just clipped off. This is so it fits into the sanitary tee and it slides in and stops on a rib in the back of it. Otherwise, your pump's going to be pumping a lot more than water, the rest of your fan. So what you do, insert the fan into the sanitary tee. Now you want to make sure your fan blows in, like so. You got your two power wires coming out. Now, for the rest of your bong installation, you want to take the rest of your tube. I'm going to make another cut on this, because that just sucks. Again, file it off. Now, repeat the process with the gluing, but on the other side of the sanitary tee. So take your glue. Oh shit.
Try not to spill it everywhere.
Try not to spill it on your tea. Adds character.
Yeah, it's style.
Style, exactly. You'll have blue glue on it.
Nice blue everywhere.
Matches my computer.
Yeah.
Stick it on the inside of your
Remember,
tea.
these are brain cells.
We mentioned that.
Yeah, stuff stinks.
What? I can't get on with
Always use it in a well-ventilated area,
Such as this.
such as this lovely windowless basement.
Cement room.
Piece of shit.
All right. Take the other end of your tube and put it together.
Oh,
Don't worry.
80mm fan.
There goes that $9 80mm fan.
Expensive.
Expensive.
It's made out of gold.
Yeah. Got them gold brushes in it. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a brushless fan, but who cares? So, here is our bong. Now, I've been told from some more enlightened friends that yes, you can use this as a bong. But not as a bong and a cooler at the same time. So you weigh your options.
Make two for
Yeah.
maximum performance.
Yes. Because we all like to play Quake 4 high. Alright. Now, thing to do is, gotta let it dry. So, we're going to move on to the putting the pump into the bucket. It's done. Actually, there's more than that to it. See, we have this lovely chunk of yellow garden hose that was donated, by the way. Now, if you look on the pump, most pumps come with a 3/8 outlet. See, it's little, but we need to get to a 5/8 outlet. So you need to spend about $4 on an adapter. This one I got from Ace, and it's up to you how to make it. There's one thing though, do not make it out of brass. Brass and aluminum, no. You will corrode your entire cooling system. So, you need to figure out how much hose you need. And we forgot something.
Has this ever happened to you? Blue screens of death and evil rabbits causing you to lose all of your data? Well, fear not, noble Windows user. I Data Recovery Services is on the case. We have the most skilled professionals to handle your valuable data, and the process is unmatched. Let us follow one of our skilled technicians now while performing a routine data recovery and hard drive restoration service. The first thing we do when we receive your drive is to assess and examine it for any physical damages that may cause us to have difficulty recovering the drive. We then take the drive to our clean room and start the recovery process. The recovery process begins by opening the drive. Our professionals use only the most state-of-the-art tools and procedures to gain access to your data. Once we have the drive open, the next thing we do is remove the platter and start scraping off all the surface crusted on data that's been sitting there since you bought the machine. Once the surface data is uncrusted, the next step is to start removing the actual core data. For this, we use only one thing: magic. If it's good enough to be magic, it's good enough to clean your drive. We also use specially formulated chemicals to ensure that all the data is removed. Once the drive has been thoroughly cleansed and polished, it is time to dry the drive and ready it for reinsertion. For this we use our patented G radiation oven. Once the drive platters have been dried and cleaned, we are ready to reinsert it back into the drive. For this, we insert it carefully and bend the heads back into place. Then the top is carefully glued back into place. Then, usually 10 to 12 business days after we ship it off from our Taiwanese data center, the drive arrives at your doorstep, along with its data tape backup ready for you to use. Inside the package, you'll find your hard drive, which is now in a completely working, erased state. And also, the DAT tape backup. Once everything is said and done, there's only one thing left to do, and that is of course to plug it in and give it a whirl. Just plug the drive in into the normal IDE chain, push the power button, and you're good to go. Be sure to check out our website from time to time for new services such as our data compression service. I hope you've enjoyed this special presentation from I&I Data Recovery Services, and I hope you come back to us with all your data recovery needs.
Alright, we're back. I found the shower head. Now the shower head screws onto a big pipe. Well, it's threaded obviously, so you need another adapter. That screws in. Do not glue this connection. You might need to take it apart. So, you want to take your shower head. Your shower head, by the way, with our lovely bong, will fit on the top. This will spray water inside the shower head. Inside the bong. This is what makes it all work. Because as you spread out water, it evaporates. Well, when it evaporates, it takes away energy. Which is another thing. Always check your water level. If it goes dry, so will your wallet. Okay, so to mount the shower head, you stick the end of the hose onto the shower head barb. Then, I'm going to do this very fast. Stick the end of the shower head into the pipe. And measure out roughly how much hose you'll need. With your lovely hacksaw, cut it to length. Okay, so take your shower head, stick it in the top. Take your bucket lid, stick it over the bottom. Little help here. Over the bottom of the bong. Slide it through. Push it off the top. Alright. Now, with your pump in the bucket. We forgot to drill a hole. As you see in the bucket, there's there's the pump. We just installed the pump and the hose on the end of the pump. So now, slide your bong into it. We have successfully made a bong cooler.
Water bong.
Very large water bong. Now, take your shower head. And there, my friend, is one completed bong cooler. Let's test it.
It's so cool, like the air that's being blown out.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Feel how it's really hot?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna
That's
be.
the hot air coming out?
That's the hot air coming
How
out.
the fuck does that do that? There's cold air
From
coming
evaporation, yeah.
in? Are you
Yeah,
serious? Wouldn't it waste a lot of like water? Like
Probably
when
won't.
you walk
It does. It does evaporate a lot.
Keep an eye on it.
Hook this on.
That's the sound. Yeah, it's not a lot of head, is it?
Is there a cap on it?
Yeah, like one of those big, huge, like Seinfeld black market elephant showers.
Oh god, yeah.
That'll drain your water heater.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, unplugged it. Yeah, that's definitely. Well, I could take the restrictor out of it.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right. It works. Benefits of this: A, fairly cheap for water cooling. B, it's below sub-ambient temperatures. Some of the cons are: better check your water level because it evaporates mighty quick. 2, kind of loud, unless you like fish tank sounds. And 3, this will humidify your room, make it feel like Florida when it's the middle of winter. But I see the cons outweigh, or the pros outweigh the cons, and you get yourself fairly cheap, below sub-ambient water cooling. Yeah, it works good.
So I hope you enjoyed Trevor. Hopefully he'll be coming back to us with some more segments. He was a fan of To Show originally, and he told us that he had something to show us, so we went over. He actually, turns out he lives a couple of towns over, so we just went over there and we built the water bong.
Alright, let's see what's coming up next on our schedule.
I'm Nick, and today we're here at my humble abode. We're going to show you how to boot a computer over a network. The technology behind this is called Wake-on-LAN, or if you want to get geeky about it, WOL, W-O-L. It was developed by AMD. It is a way to boot computers over a network. It's pretty useful in corporate environments if you want to if you have a company that you want to get all the computers started up at once. You can do that. It's also useful in your typical home environment. If your Will over there, for example, wants to start his computer from his bedroom, he can go and do that. Now, your typical wall packet, which is called the magic packet, odd name, I don't know why it's called that, really. But a typical wall packet consists of 6 bytes of the hexadecimal value for 255, which is FF. So you have 6 of those, followed by the MAC address of the computer you're trying to boot 16 times. So, pretty big packet. What you're going to need for this is a relatively modern computer with an ATX power supply and an ATX motherboard, and an Ethernet controller of some sort. Now, if you have onboard LAN, that's pretty good because most onboard LAN features Wake-on-LAN support. You'll be pretty good there. If you have a card, you might be a little less lucky, but you're probably still going to be able to do it. First thing you're gonna want to do to set this up is you're gonna want to boot the computer that you want to boot over the network. Go into the BIOS settings and look for a Wake-on-LAN setting and enable it. It'll probably be under the power settings or advanced settings. You're gonna have to look. If you have a custom PC, it'll probably be a little easier because you can look in the manual. But if you happen to have something store-bought or custom made, manufactured by a major company, it might be a little hard-pressed to find it. If you do find it, enable it. And then the next step you're going to want to do, which we've already done here because obviously I use this every day, is you're going to want to wire up your network. Now, at the least, the computer you're going to want to boot has to have an Ethernet cable connecting it to some form of router or hub. The computer you're booting from can be wireless, or you can even do this from the internet if you felt like it. But good way to check that you have Wake-on-LAN after you've got the wiring all done is to look on your router. In this case, the computer is off, but the computer, which is attached to port 1 on my router here, still looks like it's connected via Ethernet. This is a simple test to figure out if you got Wake-on-LAN enabled correctly and that everything's wired up to it. If you see your lights, then you're good to go. Now, if you see your lights, next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get some Wake-on-LAN Magic Packet Generator software. It's free, it's available for every major platform. All you got to do is Google it, you'll probably find it. What I'm using today, since this computer is running Windows, is some simple software called Wake-on-LAN GUI from depicus.com. What you're going to need to know to use this software is the MAC address of the computer, which obviously goes in the Magic Packet, and it asks for some other information like your IP address or subnet, which would be useful if booting over the internet, but in our case we can randomly make up some values for that. One other setting it's going to ask you for is what UDP port to use. Wake-on-LAN uses UDP port 7 by default for most systems. However, some manufacturers change this or use a different one. If this is the case, you're going to want to research that and figure it out, but try it on port 7. If it doesn't work, you can play around, see, try port 8 or something in the 50s, probably be my recommendations to start at. Now, we're going to show you how to use this software to turn on the computer. I have a sticky note with all my information written out already, with the computer's MAC address and all that, and all the port info I need. So, we're going to go ahead and type this into the Wake-on-LAN GUI from Depicus and boot the computer. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the tools available to you with this tool from Depicus. First up, you have your MAC address field. This is going to allow you to type in the MAC address, the computer you want to wake up. You're going to determine this, so you're going to have to type something in yourself for that. The internet address field allows you to type in your IP that you're or use a dynamic DNS system that your ISP has provided you with if you're coming from the internet to try and wake up something at home from a hotel or somewhere. Subnet mask, generally just type in 0000, nothing to it, ignore it, whatever. Send options. If you're going to be trying to do this over a local network, change this to local subnet instead of internet. If you're trying to do it from over the internet, leave this at internet. And for remote port number, just type in 7. Usually it's default. So, okay, so I've got my info all typed in. So what we're going to do now is click the cute little wake me up button and watch as the computer over there turns on. So loading. And as you can see, I have obviously not gone anywhere near the power button. The computer's starting up right now. So if you want to do this over the internet, all you got to do really is make sure that your computer's connected to your router or the modem. Make sure that the UDP port, whatever ones you got to use, is forwarded to the computer, or put it on the. Make sure that's all set up and good, and you should be able to do it from over the internet. Now, if you're using the Magic Packet software I've been using from Depicus, that's where the IP address and subnet comes in. You're going to just type those in, IP of your internet connection and subnet and everything like that, and you're going to select the internet option, and it'll broadcast it through the internet to your house, and it should boot up at home. So, in conclusion, this has been Wake-on-LAN, useful for booting computers over a network. Most modern computers support it, and should be able to have a nice time with it. Any problems, questions, or if you want to tell me about your success, you can email me at nick@techcentric.org. Visit the IRC chat room, irc.techfile.ca, channel TechCentric, or you can call the TechCentric PBX and leave me a voicemail. I'd be glad to hear anything you got to say. This has been Wake-on-LAN, showing you how to boot a computer over a network. Good for practicality, good for the heck of it, good for practical jokes. I'm out.
So if we find some actual use of Tabix segment,
let's go back to our schedule and see what we got coming up next. Okay, so we've all heard of the big companies, the big voice over IP providers such as Vonage and Comcast, AT&T, AOL, or even starting to get into the voice over IP game. This is because it's a very profitable business. It's because it costs them close to nothing. We already showed you that free incoming is possible with IP call. Now I'm going to show you that outgoing is dirt cheap with a company called SIP Discount. Now SIP Discount, I'm pretty sure, is a company based out of somewhere in Germany, which means not only are they not bound by United States laws, which may make this a little bit illegal or shady or whatever, they're also extremely cheap, and they accept PayPal in the euro form. Now, 10 euros gets you a year's worth of service, which is awesome. 10 euros equates out to about $13 US, and it's PayPalable to them. You just send it to them in their PayPal account, and instantly you're credited, and you can instantly go and add in your SIP trunk, like this. I'm going to start off by just going to the IP address colon the port number of your Asterisk at home machine. Mine is over the internet, so we'll use a full host name such as that. You get to your Asterisk at home main portal page. You're going to go to the free PBX administration. Usually it'll prompt you for a username and password. I've already entered it, so it won't ask me. Go to the setup tab at the top. Go to the trunks tab on the left. You're going to add a SIP trunk. Outbound caller ID doesn't matter because that's all handled by SIP Discount, so we're just going to put unknown. Maximum channels you're not going to change. Dial rules. These are our dial rules, and I'll explain these a little bit. 1 detones, anytime there's a 1 dialed, it will start using the rest of this dial rule. N is a number anywhere from 0 to 9, and X is any number after a number 0 to 9. So like this would be a 7-digit number, this would be a 10-digit number, or a 9-digit, I'm sorry. This is a 10-digit. Dial rules doesn't matter. Outbound dial prefix doesn't matter. You can toy with that a little bit later. That's so you can dial like *9 and get to this line. It's kind of cool. Truck name is cosmetic, so we're just going to name that SIPD for SIP Discount. Copy and paste our information. This will all be in the show notes, by the way. Now this is, I had to figure this out myself. The DTMF tone equals in band. This tells Asterisk what type of DTMF tones to use. If you don't know what a DTMF tone is, it's every time you push a button on the on your hard phone, it has to tell SIP Discount which button you pushed. If you don't do this, it won't work right. And if you don't really need that, then don't worry about it. But if you ever get to an IVR prompt like 1-800-CALL-ATT or something like that, you won't be able to push numbers. User context, you're going to put in your SIP Discount username. It's Linlin1020. User details. Again, copy and paste from our show notes. Registration string is a standard SIP registration string. Looks just like an FTP registration string. Username : password @ hostname. Go ahead and submit your changes, and click the red box at the top, and you should be all set. So after you've added your SIP trunk, you're going to log into your Asterisk CLI interface, which is your Asterisk command line interface. You're going to run the command SIP show channels. You're going to see and make sure that the SIP trunk is registered. If it is, which it should be, it's very simple to add that. You're going to need to log back into your AMP portal, add the outbound route, which is fairly simple. Just rig up a dial rule, figure out what you need to do for that, and then pretty much all your phones should work off of it. Now, this is fairly easy for someone, of my stature, anyone else that knows pretty much basic Asterisk workings. But, if you're a noob, you might need help with this kind of thing. Feel free to call the hotline. It's 360-226-7313. Go ahead and visit the Voxilla forums, which is where I learn unmeasurable amounts of things from everybody over at Voxilla.com. As always, email me at will@techcentric.org, and feel free to answer any of your questions. Until next time, this has been VoIP Toys. Okay, so that was my installment of VoIP for episode 2. So if you've been following along so far, you have incoming calls and outgoing calls from your Asterisk machine. Hopefully next month I'll have some more advanced tutorials for you.
Alright, let's see what's coming up next. Hi, I'm Steve, and we're going to start another Surfing with Steve segment right now. First site I got for you today is usendit.com. It's www.usendit.com. Alright, so basically with this website, it lets you send larger files through an email. You know how an ISP only lets you send about 5 megabytes or so out to your friends, or video, or pictures, I don't know, whatever you want to send. And this lets you send up to whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a no limit file send, and it uses your email instead of, I don't know, however they want to do it, their service or whatever. And basically, you just sign up, and you log in, put your email address in, put the person you want to send it to, a message, and then you upload the file directly onto their little input box, and it makes it perfect. You can just send it right to your friends. It eliminates the need for FTPs, and it's a quick and easy service. Alright, the second site I got for you today is called DLL Files. It's www.dll-files.com. And basically what this website is a free directory for all DLL files that you'll ever probably need. And, it fixes corrupt ones, missing ones. If you need any type of DLL file, you can probably find it here. Just insert it where it's needed in your file directories, and you should be good to go. This is a great service. Anyone can use it. I would recommend go checking it out. Alright, this has been Surfing with Steve. Expect another one next episode. So until then, I'll see you later. Well, I hope you enjoyed those 2 websites, and hope you find them useful.
What's coming up next, Steve?
I don't know. Let's see.
Stop. Think of how many IMs you pinged off in the last 5 minutes, the last hour, day, week, month, year. You get the picture. Credit card numbers, house numbers, phone numbers, important information. What if that information were to get in the wrong hands? How secure do you think you are, and how secure are you? There are 2 solutions to this. You take the blue CD. You live in the days of no knowledge. You ping off IMs that are unencrypted. Take the red CD, ping off IMs that are encrypted. Take the red CD, I'll show you how far the Ethernet cable goes.
Hi, I'm Jared and I'm back from episode 1. We're going to be talking about IM logging today. I know you just seen a kind of spoofed up intro, but the basic point I wanted to make to you was that, it's very easy to log someone's messages. On AIM, ICQ, Yahoo, all that sort of stuff can be logged easily by your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, hell, even your little brother. So what today we're going to be using is 3 different pieces of software. We're going to be using Chat Stalker Explorer, Chat Blocker, and Chat Watch. So the whole thing that we're going to be doing is focusing on how easy it is to log someone's IMs. So the first piece of software we're going to use today is Chat Stalker Explorer. One thing that I really liked about Chat Stalker Explorer was the fact that when you open it up, it has a calendar so that you can backtrack to the dates and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty easy to use. You have all the configuration stuff, the option stuff. It records the basic stuff, ICQ, Yahoo, AIM, all that sort of stuff, but it doesn't log stuff like Trillion or MIRC or other such things. I found that it did pretty well, and it scanned a lot of the messages. You could change a lot of the preferences, and like with all the other software pieces, it did have a key on it. So when you opened it up, you had to type in a password and all that sort of stuff. You could also edit it so that it could either appear not on the taskbar, not on the desktop, and you could hide the files even if you wanted to. So Chat Stalker on a whole was a fairly decent piece of software. It detected a lot of the stuff, but at the same time, I could have just used the ICQ or Trillion messengers to circumvent it. The next piece of software that we use is Chat Blocker. And I like Chat Blocker a lot better than Chat Stalker. Something I really liked about Chat Blocker was the fact that you had to type in your password for every time you wanted to do an action. Just even running the thing, just even wanted to close and stop the application. What I found also really interesting about Chat Blocker was not necessarily that it just blocked IMs, but it could block certain websites, and it was almost like an internet filter. It was really good because you could import settings from another computer that you had. You could conceal it so it wouldn't be on the taskbar. Heck, you could even get it off so that when you press Control-Alt-Delete from the Windows Task Manager, it deletes the Task Manager off, so making it very difficult for someone to get the executable file out. You could also have logs online, and you can do it really well. It also had, similar to the Chat Stalker thing, it had a calendar sort of thing, but it wasn't actually a calendar. It was more of just dates all put together. So I like Chat Blocker more than Chat Stalker. The last piece we had was Chat Watch, which I thought was probably not necessarily the best. It was between Chat Stalker and Chat Blocker. Chat Blocker probably was the best, while Chat Stalker was probably the worst. It had a lot of logs and stuff like that. It was really organized. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that you didn't really have to put in the password that much. You did have to type in the password to start it back up if you had minimized it, but for all intents and purposes, if it's on the desktop right now and I just double-clicked it, I wouldn't have needed to type in the password to start it. So I guess in essence what I'm trying to say is, Chat Blocker is probably the best thing to use if you want to snoop on your girlfriend or stuff like that. If you're thinking that your parents are snooping on you, then they're probably using one of these three things, specifically Chat Blocker, because it not only blocks just IM stuff, it also filters internet content, and it also logs the chats. So, now that we have these three pieces of software that can log your stuff, they can filter your stuff, what can you do about it? I mean, this should be a simple solution. IMs are the basic form of the internet. It's what most people use the internet for. So, how do we stop this from happening? I had read up on a good bit of encryption stuff, and a lot of them didn't really work. The AIM one, it has a good encryption thing, but you have to do it both on the partner that you're sending it to and you using it yourself. So you have to have one on one side and one on the other side, which is pretty much for each side. You can't just send it out. Because what a lot of these programs do is right before the IM text hits the internet, they capture right there. So it makes it really hard for you to send it encrypted to another site that's unencrypted. It just won't work. So what I used actually, and what we'll recommend, would be Trillian. What Trillian does is, you can have multiple accounts on there. It has stuff for AIM, IRC, ICQ, Yahoo, all the good sort of stuff. It's pretty much an all-inclusive package. One good thing about Trillian is, besides it being the whole package deal, is that it has a really good encryption strength. I used all these sort of programs to find anything on Trillian, and nothing came up. Besides Chat Stalker not being able to track Trillian stuff, Chat Blocker and Chat Watch both filtered for Trillian, but they didn't catch anything. So what I'm going to teach you now is how to set up the Trillian encryption. So first off, you go to your connections. You go to Manage My Connections, and then you look at your account. You click on your account, and then it'll come up with your account name and your password, and it says Disconnect and Change. You click Change. You're going to go to the Miscellaneous tab. You're going to check the three boxes under Secure IM. Activate Secure IM capabilities. When possible, make a best effort to automatically maintain a Secure IM session with my contacts, and do not log Secure IM sessions. Then you hit Save Settings, and you're done. What needs to happen, though, when you IM someone, like I'll do for example right now, you have to go to Actions, Establish Secure IM Session. It will take about a second, and then you can just do that. If it doesn't say that a secure IM session was established, you run the risk of your IMs being captured and being used against you. I'm not trying to say, if you're doing something illegal, you need to do this. It's more of just like, if you think your parents are snooping on you, or if you think your girlfriend's snooping on you, it's just more of a security in your mind sort of thing. It works out really well. Trillian, I would say, a lot of people don't like it because it uses a lot of, it just pretty much sits there and idles when you're not using it, just like any machine does. But it does idle a good bit, and it takes up a lot of space just to run it. So in essence, IAMs are really easy to get into, as I've shown you in this. So in conclusion, you may not love Trillion. It has a pretty nice interface, I thought, but some of you other people might not like it. But in essence, go to Trillion, download it. It's really good. It's going to help you not be logged. It's really secure. It's really easy to use. You can have multiple accounts. One thing I want to add, though, before we wrap this up is for each account, you have to do the secure IAM session each time. You have to log that, and you have to set the preferences, because if you don't, you're going to get logged. So, like I said, go to Trillion, download that, do all the account stuff, get as many accounts as you can, and just start talking to people. If you have any questions, you can IM me at TechCentric Jared on Secure IM, or you can catch me in the IRC room, or you can email me at jared@techcentric.org. But if you need anything else, I'll see you next episode. Hope you enjoy this.
Take us like hours.
Alright, go
Okay.
ahead, Jared.
Alright, well, that was my segment. In any ways, I don't condone spying about someone, but it's always good to know what your enemy's using against you if you think you've been a victim of being spied upon and being logged. But, get out there, use Trillion. It's a really good piece of software, and, just don't get spied upon.
Anyways, this has been TechCentric episode 2. I hope you look forward to the next episode in the coming months. We should have a lot more content coming out with the summer months approaching. Anyways, we'd like to give major props to, of course, everyone over at Infonomicon, over at BinRev Radio, hackermedia.org, our friends over at the Crappy Ass Podcast. Anyone else? I'm sure we're forgetting somebody, but we'll put them in the credits.
Definitely.
Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to visit our website at www.techcentric.org. Also, I'd like to tell you that we will have TechCentric merchandise coming out soon. Check out the store on the website in the coming weeks for that. And this has been TechCentric episode 2.